Hello there YouTube, this is Mondragon, back now with a deck profile on my Card Fight Vanguard Kagero Overlord deck, because that's the only way to play Kagero for some reason. Yes, Blade Master's a thing. So starting off, we have our starter. We have Red Pulse Draco Kid, basic grade 3 searcher for Kagero. Most people would nowadays run Sadiq, however, my luck's terrible and I sometimes never get the grade 3 that I need. So he's good and also can help with some soul and distraction numbers, because if Sadiq gets killed, most of the decks shuts down. Now, the main engine runs on this guy, Dragonic Overlord the Legend, most infamous for his ability of that crappy combo with Dauntless, as well as basically being a free ride. You don't lose anything from your hand. I run 2 because depending on the matchup, he might not help, but because of a certain card in our grade 1 lineup, he is easily searchable. Starting off, then we also run 4 copies of the X, or the Cross, because Legion, because this format with Messiahs and Gold Paladins and whatnot are very used to deck out because of so many draws, and the Legend can also apply on-hit pressure for decks that don't run Dismal, and obviously we run the Mate, the End, run 3 because you don't want to ride him as much unless you're fighting a grade 1 rush deck where they try and capitalize on you. So for the grade 1 lineup, we have the main one of controversy, Lizard General Conroe. Basic grade 3 searcher for the G era. But what makes him good is that he can do any Overlord, and that his retire for Counter Charge 2, which can help out when using Legion combos or just general control issues. And if you're fighting anything such as Link Joker, you can retire him so he doesn't get locked, your opponent can't benefit off it, and you get the counter charge. For next, we run 3 Stride Assist. Because we run 9 grade 3s, the Stride Assists are not as necessary. I could bump it up to 4, but right now 3 seems to work just fine. He's a decent booster as well, but you know, most people aren't going to do that. So carry on, guess it. And then obviously 4 PGGs, because Kagero is a very counter blast heavy deck, even with Conroe. He makes up and can get you advantages, especially when it comes to the G Guardians. And lastly, we run 2 of Spear of the Flame Dragon Tar. He's not used as much, but when he's used, he can be very helpful. His skill is a once per turn counterblast 1, soul blast 1. You then can choose one of your Flame Dragon units, or one of your units, give it 4k, and when it attacks the Vanguard, you check top 5 cards of your deck for a Flame Dragon, and your hand. Can very much help you out on the Ace, or when you really need a grade 3 for your next stride. From the grade 2 lineup, we run the MVP Dragon Knight Nehalem, or Emperor Dragon Knight Nehalem. Helps out with the Legend. He becomes a 21k attacker by himself. If he's on the field when you stride, he's automatically a 16k attacker, and can be very impressive. Most people want to get him off the field as soon as possible. For our next up, we have 4 of Dragonic Burnout. Burnout is a really good early game card. He can get rid of snipe starters, and he can also help you from not decking out, because his skill of putting an Overlord from your drops into the bottom of your deck is both an optional and does not require the soul. So you can, if you don't have any soul but you want to put the Overlord at the bottom, you can call it, take the Overlord, put it in the drop, or from the drop to the bottom of the deck, and it'll still work. Also is the only non-heavily GB card in this deck. And then we run 3 Berserk Dragon. You could run Neo Flame. I don't have Neo Flame. He can be good, especially against decks that can't get the field back. For the triggers, we run 4. Yes, I know there's only 2. I don't have all 4 right now, but we run 8 crits. We would run 4 of Dragon Knight Janet, because just the fact that it has an effect, you draw, give 5,000, and then the rest are normal triggers. Basically, make sure that they are Flame Dragons, because even if you don't want to grab a crit, just the ability to grab a 10k when riding the Legend really helps out. We run 4 draws. I personally prefer to do 2 of Steel Dragon Artipeak and 2 of Gatling Claw. Gatling Claw, when you're really desperate, can snipe some pesky grade 0s, and Gatling Claw or Artipeak can get you that power when you really need to push, especially on a Novell turn. And obviously we run 4 heal triggers, because this deck doesn't like dying. No deck likes dying. And specifically Mother of Dragon, I love this card. I love its artwork, as well as it is a flame dragon, so it can help when using the legend and searching out for if you want to get to GB1 quickly. For our strides, we run 1 of Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon Vortex Desire. He gets you a GB2 the turn right after you use him, so you can use the Legends skill. He can also be some decent control and on hit pressure. We run 1 of Air Element Seabreeze. Now, this deck doesn't need it, but it helps, especially against certain decks that are pesky. If they're trying to be cheeky and grade 2 rush you, or they G-assist and fail, you can stride into this, get out in a Holem and a Berserk Lord, and start wrecking face. However, it is counterblast heavy, so you want to be careful. Usually it's just there as your dead stride. You can flip over for Titans. Next up, we run, as I mentioned, 4 Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon Dragonic Blade Master Titan. Great card. Gives Kagero what they don't have, which is a mid game. It allows them easy crits. It's a crit, and it's some simple retire. For the most part, the retire, in my games, the retire doesn't seem to go off as much, but the crit definitely provides pressure. He's one of the options you can go to other than Novell and the Ace. Speaking of which, we run 4 copies of the Ace. Yes, I know my deck is not SP. I'm sorry. I'm a college student. I can't afford this stuff. We run 4 of the Ace. Simple Punisher. After he attacks, pitch Overlord in a card, restands with 5k. If you combo with Tar, he can become at least 35 plus, which could be really devastating, especially since you get to check those top 5 before you discard. So you basically have about 8 checks for another grade 3. We run 2 of Transcendence Divine Dragon Nouvelle Vogue Express. Finisher, he is the Diablo of Kagero. Basically, not glory skill, but prevents grade 1s from being guarded from the hand, and opponent can't miracle heal. So it's basically, if you need that win and your opponent is at 5, has like 2 cards in his hand, go into him. There's no reason not to. It's guaranteed game, despite the fact everyone will probably hate you. And for the G Guardians, we run 2 of Flamesteel Wing Beast Denial Griffin. One of the best G Guards in the game. Literally doesn't matter how high that rear guard's power is. All you have to do, pitch a heal trigger, call it here, counterblast 1, kills it. Unless it has resist. But for the most part, units that get really big, like Sazanda and Tidal Assaults and anything that can, or Alice's usually don't have resist. Next we run 1 Supreme Heavenly Emperor Dragon Defeat Flare Dragon. Great card if your opponent is playing Dimension Police. You can play this, snipe their back row so they can't Laurel. Playing against Shao Paladin, they're swinging with Abyss or Raging Form Dragon. You just play it here, wipe their back row, and they don't have enough units to retire for their effect. And otherwise, he also puts 2 grade 3s Overlords back into your deck, which helps you to prevent from decking out, because this deck can go through a lot of cards, and you want to keep up with the tempo of games, especially against decks such as Angel Feather and Link Joker. And finally, for the last G-Guard and last unit, we run Flame Emperor, Dragon King, Azile Orb Dragon. Until Kagero gets more support in either set 11 or their own clan bush or whatever, this is our best number card other than Screw, but Screw is not Kagero itself. This, it's simple. If your opponent does not have a full field, so it's just 4 or less, so if they don't have a full field, it is +5, so 31k. Against stuff like next stage play with basic Chrono Jet Dragon, just all you have to do, Perfect Guard, or just take the next stage hit, drop this, and it will be 31 to their normal 16, unless they've got triggers on the back row or have a bunch of Heart Thump Worker. And that's basically it for the deck. The main combos that are contained that I mentioned are using the best opening for your hand is to have a grade 2 to ride,
I think I'm getting better against the Idol Master.
Dragonic Burnout, the end,
You hungry?
at least 1 grade 1, preferably Tar. And Conroe, if you open with this hand, you will have at minimum a 31k, both 2 attacks, both swinging for a 9 attack on the Vanguard and a 16 attack, as well as getting whatever Overlord you need, as well as pesting off any unit that's a main issue. With the cost of Soul. The main thing is that this deck does not run Soul, which is the main reason why Janet is good, because you can run her when you go into your Blade Master stride. Anyway, thanks YouTube for watching. This is Kamen Rider Dragoon, signing off.
Alright.